Welcome to another video in my series where I guide you in starting to trade the Forex markets. And you can also use this guide to learn how to trade other markets that you can trade in CFDs or ETFs or stocks, things like that. So here's another video, and in this video I will show you how I trade to give you an overview of my style of trading. And you can see if this sounds interesting to you, and then you can follow along with all the other videos that I will make, which go into more detail on each point that I will show you in this short presentation. So how I trade is I'm a technical trader. So here on the right side you can see one of the charts that I look at on a regular basis to see if I can place a trade, and this chart is called a candlestick chart. So I use mostly candlesticks. That's a way of representing the price, and I will make a video on this, going into this in detail, how candlestick charts work and why are they so beneficial. They're more or less the standard nowadays of looking at price movements, because they incorporate a lot of information in just one data point. So I trade price action, so you can see a lot of indicators on this chart, but the most important thing I look at is price itself and how it moves, and I do this that's called price action. And I also look at the market structure. So how I'm looking at how the market behaves, if it's moving strongly or slowly, or if it's moving sideways or going up or going down. And so I will make a video about market structure, what it means, how you can look at it. And so those are the most important things from top to bottom that I use. So candlestick charts, price action, and market structure. And then on top of that I use other things like support and resistance. So SNR is support and resistance. So I look at price levels in the market where price tends to reverse or break through strongly, and if this happened in the past, then there's a higher probability that it will happen in the future. So when price comes back to these kind of levels, then I will be looking at placing trades in a certain way. So these support and resistance are usually more or less lines, but there are zones. And there's also another concept that's called supply and demand, which is fairly similar but slightly different, in the sense that it looks more at the order flow in the market. So it makes you think about where big buyers like the big banks have placed buy orders that are not filled yet, or sell orders that are not filled yet, and that might get filled in the next time that price reaches that level. So that's supply and demand is what I use. And I use indicators. That's what people mostly know about technical trading, indicators. And I mostly use the RSI, so that's a relative strength indicator, the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence indicator, moving averages itself, and something called the Ichimoku cloud, which is a Japanese indicator, which in itself is a trading system. And to tell you something about it, I sometimes only trade the Ichimoku cloud, but I've found a way to integrate these indicators like the RSI, MACD, and moving averages with something that looks like the Ichimoku cloud. And I'm starting to make this my own kind of system. And I will explain you how I do this. So if you see, for instance, this yellow line is what I call the signal line, and it's actually part of the Ichimoku cloud. And that I've integrated this with trading with moving averages. Also, it's very important that I always trade in probabilities. So let's move myself out of the way. So I always look at probabilities in the market, not certainties. So I'm never saying, oh, price will go there, or price will come here and will do this. No, I'm always thinking in it's more likely that this will happen or that something else will happen. And so that's an important way of looking at the market. I skipped one thing which also coincides with the probabilities, and that's strict money management. I'm always risking a well, not a fixed percentage, but I have some rules on how much money I am allowed to lose on each and every trade, and I'm trying to keep this as small as possible so that I can lose many trades and still have my account intact and that I can continue trading. So I also use probabilities, not certainties, and I use something like what we call risk to reward. So when I look at a trade, I'm always looking, can I make more money out of it than I am risking? If this is the case, or at least I need to be able to make the same amount of money when I'm in profit as when I will close my trade for a loss if something goes wrong. So that's probabilities and statistics, more or less. And I always do forecasts. So I do weekly forecasts where I record a video in the weekend, and I look ahead at the Forex markets, and I try to not predict but forecast what might happen. And you will hear me say a lot, if this happened, then I think we could get an entry here. If this will happen, then I'm not going to buy. So I'm always talking in if-else statements. So if this happens, then it's a higher probability we will go higher, so I will buy. If this happens, then it's a higher probability we will go lower. So this is a very important part of my way of trading, the forecast and thinking in probabilities. So this is how I trade. If you want to see more of how I trade before you continue, you can watch one of my forecasts. Maybe it's good to take the most recent one and see if you like how I look at the markets. And once you start trading, you can follow me along, of course, and you can see my weekly forecast to help you guide yourself along in your trading journey. So thanks for watching. If you like these kind of videos, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications of any new videos that I post. And I'll catch you in the next video.